Go stand back so I can see it.
Okay, but Mommy, I don't have to wear this.
No. Okay, show me. Okay, tell me about your new clothes.
I want to wear girl clothes.
All right, guys. So we got to talk about probably one of the silliest TikToks that I've ever seen in my life, which is a mother who is transitioning her toddler son into a girl. Now, part of the reason why this mother is transitioning her son is because her son allegedly displayed traits that make her believe that her son is actually a girl. And the mother is saying that this is totally harmless. Nothing bad can come of her, pushing her son to not be a boy, to be a girl. And that everybody just needs to pipe down about all these TikToks that she's posting in which she's clearly trying to brainwash her child, right? Because again, part of the reason why she is saying that her son is actually a girl, okay, a daughter, has to do with the fact that her son apparently likes to wear dresses and doesn't like to get haircuts. Take a look.
And that's what you've done too. There's nothing more to say. No more race to play.
I hope you realize this is actually how it is. Like, there's nothing permanent until they are an adult. Before that, it's just pronouns, clothes, puberty blockers to buy them a few years, to meet with a therapist to make sure that they're persistent and consistent. But even that is not permanent.
Go stand back so I can see it.
Okay, but Mommy, I don't have to wear this.
No. Okay, show me. Okay, tell me about your new clothes.
I want to wear girl clothes.
Why do you want to wear girl clothes?
Because I do.
Okay. Is it because do you feel like you're a girl or do you feel like you're a boy?
Girl.
Yeah, you look beautiful.
Yeah.
Make you so happy. I love you.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that. Clearly, this mother is brainwashing her child. She's letting her child's imagination and, cuckoo for Cocoa Puff world go a little bit too far here, okay? And she is helping facilitate this child believing or falsely believing that, they are a girl or whatever, the opposite sex, by going along with it. And she faced some backlash for it, a whole lot of backlash for it online.
I hope you realize this is actually how it is. Like, there's nothing permanent until they are an adult.
I hope you realize that that is not how it is. Kids could start puberty blockers as young as 8. Kids can start puberty very young, and girls are increasingly starting puberty younger and younger. So how many years of puberty blockers until cross-sex hormones? You're going to put them on cross-sex hormones at 10? Either way, going from puberty blockers to cross-sex hormones is permanent. They are chemically castrated at that point. Not going through puberty at all. Like, you don't go through the other sex's puberty. You need to go through the puberty for your sex. And it will be irreversible. Studies have shown that even a year or two on puberty blockers, there's a heightened risk of long-term side effects that affect things like bone density, especially in girls. There are multiple studies that show that supporting social transition, it is very rare that they will desist. It will lead to persistence, and they will go from puberty blockers to cross-sex hormones. It's not just time to think. They very rarely do, because they are children. They are specifically children who are on a pathway. They have a mission. They have a goal. I had gender dysphoria. I did not grow out of it until I was in my mid-20s. So That's a whole lot of years.
But of course, you have the trans crusaders that come out the woodwork to do mental gymnastics and try to justify this type of brainwashing of children by parents. Take a look.
Go stand back so I can see it.
Okay, but Mommy, I don't.
This is so cute. Let's talk about it. First off, Mom, great job. For people commenting those were leading questions, they absolutely were not. If anything, it's very clear that you and this child have had a conversation before, and she has been very clear about her gender. So let's talk a little bit about how we know children are trans. So in psychology, there's something called insistence and persistence, and this is seen a lot with trans youth and trans children, and specifically trans girls, but it's also seen for trans boys as well. And what this is basically when a child tells you, I'm a girl or I'm a boy, and they're insistent and persistent about it. So they continue to say it over a long period of time, and they continue to push in certain directions. So maybe for this child, it's her wanting to wear a dress, her wanting to wear girls' clothes, her wanting to play with girls' things, her liking the color pink, right? Things that are traditionally feminine. For trans boys, it would just be the opposite. And so we see this insistence and persistence, and that's honestly one of the big signs we know that a child truly is trans and won't regret it. Second thing to consider is the prefrontal cortex. So the prefrontal cortex is the part of the brain that is in charge of our higher functioning abilities. So it's what makes humans deemed as superior to other animals, right? It's our ability to speak, read, write, do things at higher levels as opposed to just like survival. It's higher level thinking. Now, I'm sure if you've been on the internet, you've heard, well, your prefrontal cortex doesn't fully evolve until the age of 25 on average. However, for a child, that would make them better equipped to know that they're trans if their prefrontal cortex isn't fully developed. And let's talk about it. The prefrontal cortex, one of the main functions, besides, your higher functioning abilities, is your ability to inhibit actions. So your ability to not punch someone in the face when they take your food, not bite someone when they take something from you, right? Your ability to inhibit. And those are obviously very extreme, but one thing that we inhibit is our adherence to societal norms. We like to adhere to societal norms. We inhibit behaviors that would push us outside those societal norms because we want to fit in. We want to match. A trans child whose brain isn't fully developed doesn't have that inhibition. So societal norms don't matter to them. So to a trans child and to all children, they are just themselves. They're authentic and they are themselves because they're not giving in to societal pressures that older adults might give into because their prefrontal cortex is inhibiting the ability for them to be themselves by giving into these things and just going with the societal norm. Again, Mom, thank you for affirming this child. For the people in the comments saying she might change her mind, even if she does, we'll continue to affirm her for now. Good job, Mom.
Yeah. Again, I would laugh if it just wasn't such a sad situation where you have a child being transitioned by a mother who clearly is brainwashing this child, probably for personal gain. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it in a little bit, but first thing I want to talk about is the lunatic I just showed you guys who basically made the argument that because a child's brain, particularly their prefrontal cortex, is not fully developed, their ability to have inhibitions about things, to control themselves, is not fully developed. Therefore, that is proof that a child is trans. If they come out and say that, hey, they are the opposite sex, it means more because their brain is not fully developed. That is what this person is arguing. I disagree with that, right? If anything, having time for a child's brain to fully develop so they can really think about the long-term consequences in the decisions of their actions, I think is better, right? I think that is better than having a child make a decision that they truly don't understand. Like, that child does not understand that starting to transition them at a young age and continuing to brainwash them into thinking that they're the opposite sex means that they have no clue the long-term ramifications of the things that are being pushed on them by adults who do understand the long-term ramifications of transitioning a child, which is why this is evil, right? And immoral. It really is. It's one of the most immoral things I can think of, because there's no way that child understands that, hey, if I go on puberty blockers, and then if I go on, cross-sex hormones, And then if I, get surgery, all these things could lead to issues, right? Particularly when it comes to the development of sexual organs and functionality. Like they may not fully develop their breast, or they may not be able to experience an orgasm or have kids, or, a whole assortment of issues that, consequences that happen when you undergo these types of treatments. Do you think that a child really understands the long-term consequences of never being able to have an orgasm? Right. I don't think so. Or not being able to have children. I don't think so. I don't think they understand that. But again, these are the people that'll tell you that, no, it's totally safe. It's totally fine. Right. It's just pronouns. Right. It's just dresses. It's just this, just that. No, it's not just that. We all understand what that leads to. You're brainwashing this kid. You're brainwashing a toddler. But again, I think the reason why you do see a lot of this stuff and a lot of these parents that are pushing this stuff is because, quite simply, this is an easy way for them to make money, right? It's an easy way for them to get famous, right? Well, let me get famous off of making my child a science experiment, which we see this quite a bit on TikTok. These people get millions and millions of followers and viewers simply from brainwashing their kids into being trans, right? That's what's happening here. That's exactly what's happening. Because a reasonable and responsible parent would not be pushing this on their kid. They would be, getting their kid to some type of psychologist if this stuff is persistent, getting them some type of mental help, okay, telling them, look, you're not a girl, you are a boy, okay, if you want to wear pink or whatever, that's fine, but you're a boy, right? You are a boy. We're not transitioning you. We're not using different pronouns. We're not doing any of that. You are a boy, and that is what you should be saying until they're 18. And then once you turn 18, they can do whatever they want to do. But even then, it's not guaranteed that they still understand the long-term ramifications of the decisions that they're making, considering how, like that lunatic just pointed out, the brain isn't fully developed till you're like 25, right? So if that's the case, if that is the case, I think that maybe legally they shouldn't be able to transition until they turn 25, right? Let's keep it 100. We always say 18, but I really do think that people should not be allowed to do this until their brain is fully developed. Because in my opinion, I think that the issue and the reason why people are doing this is because they have not truly thought this out, right? They haven't put enough thought into it to think, do I really want a man-made Barbie pouch, right? Do I really want to do that, okay? Do I really want to call my breast? Do I really want to not have the ability to have an orgasm or to have children? I don't think that these people have truly thought this stuff out. And I think the more time that they have to think about it, the better, right? That's what I believe. But again, it's just unfortunate that, situations like this do happen. You have, kids who happen to be born to parents that are so irresponsible. This is the reason why we have child protective services. This is the exact reason why we have child protective services, because, parents like this, man, it's like, why, right? Why are you doing this? Why are you pushing this on your child, right? Why can't you just make them wait? Just make them wait. I mean, I haven't heard one good argument for not making them wait. Haven't heard one. Okay, haven't heard one. But again, this is all about clout, right? It's all about clout for her. She's probably getting a whole bunch of people donating to her and helping, pour resources into this child transitioning. Right? That's the grift. That's the new grift, right? Turn your child into a science experiment for money. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.